Morning, students. We are moving on to a new topic today, percentage. I guess many of you are familiar with this topic because you have learned that in probably from grade 4, grade 5, grade 6. So it's not a difficult concept. So for the first two lessons, we will be doing quite a fair bit of revision. So let's start our lesson today. Okay, so let's do a very quick one, okay, on how to convert percentage into decimal, fraction, and vice versa. So we all know that 100% is actually one whole, and in terms of fraction, it's actually 1/1. So when we need to present 100% in decimal, it simply means 1.0. So what about when we have 0.5 decimal? We want to convert it into percentage. Okay, yeah, that's right. It's 50%. What about when we have 25%? How do we convert it into a fraction? So many of you will say, oh, it's 25 out of 100. But whenever we present in fraction, always present it in the simplest form. So 25 out of 100. When you divide both numbers by 25, you actually get 1/4, 1 out of 4. 20%, convert it into decimal. So the rationale is actually to move the decimal place back 2 times. Okay, so you will actually get 0.2, right? And then after that, 0.1 in terms of decimal. So you need to move the decimal forward 2 times when you want to convert to percentage. So 1, 2. So it become 10%, right? Okay. And then for 5%, so it's 5 out of 100. Again, you got to simplify to the simplest form. So both numbers divided by 5, you get 1 out of 20. And to get 1%, so 1% percentage to decimal, you need to move the decimal backwards. So it's 1, 2. So you get 0.01 as the decimal. Okay, got it so far? Let's move on to the next part. Okay, so what about 44%? Quickly work it out. Convert 44% into decimal. Okay, it will be 0.44 because you move the decimal backwards to 2 decimal places, right? And then fraction, of course, is 44 of 100. It's simplified to simplest form, so it's 22 out of 50. It's still not simplest form, so it's 11 out of 25. That is the simplest form. So 0.3 into percentage, 0.03 into percentage. So you move the decimal place forward. Yeah. So you get 1, 2. So you move the decimal place to the right. So you actually get 3%. And then as a fraction is 3 out of 100, isn't it? What about 1/8? 1/8 is a little bit challenging because you can never get a base of 100, another is a denominator of 100 when you have 8. But you are able to get it to 1,000. 8 times 125 is 1,000. So as a decimal, 1/8 is actually 0.125. So as a percentage, it is 12.5%. Okay, likewise, like moving the decimal to the right 2 times. What about 0.4%? That's really challenging because you're not talking about 1%, we are talking about 0.4%. This is a very common mistake made by students, so just be very mindful. So likewise, when we want to convert percentage to decimal, we need to move the decimal to the left 2 times. So when you move the decimal to the left 2 times, you actually get 0.004 as a decimal, isn't it? So now we're going to convert it into a fraction. So it's 4 out of 1,000, which is 1 out of 125 when you 1 out of 200, sorry, it's 1 out of 250. Okay, sorry, I don't think there's an eraser mode here. So it's actually 1 out of 250. Got it so far? Okay, moving on. Okay, for those who want to capture this, you may just want to take a screenshot of it and you can revise it again later. Okay, moving on. Okay, they say write 47% as a fraction. So in order for us to convert this into a fraction, so again is 47 out of 100. So is that the simplest form? Yes, 47 is a prime number. So therefore, this is the fraction that you want to get when you want to convert 47% into a fraction. Then what about 20% as a fraction in the simplest form? So again, 20 out of 100, both number can be divided by 20, so I get 1 out of 5 as the answer, 1/5. Okay, let's move on. What about 1/4% as a fraction in the simplest form? Oh, this is challenging. 1/4% is actually 0.25 of a percent, isn't it? So now we want to convert this into a fraction. So how can we actually convert this into a fraction? So it is simply 0.25 over 100. Okay, but this, since this is a decimal, so I got to move 2 decimal forward. So I get 25 out of 10,000. Okay, 25 out of 10,000. So you want to simplify further, both numbers divided by 25, you get 1, 4. So it's 1 out of 400. Okay, so just look at the steps. Okay, from here to here, just changing of 1/4 into 0.25, they are equivalent. So then I use the normal procedure to convert percentage into a fraction, 0.25 over 100. Bearing in mind, you can never have decimal in a fraction. Therefore, I need to convert this into a whole number, so I move 2 decimal places. So likewise, down here, I got to move 2 decimal places. So that's how I get 10,000 here. And from here, I divide both numbers by 25. That's how I get 1 out of 400. Okay, moving on. Wow, even more challenging. So 15 and 1/3% as a fraction in the simplest form. So how can we actually go about solving this then? So first and foremost, I will have 15 and 1/3%. Okay, so how can I convert this into a fraction then? So this will be 15 and 1/3 over 100. But it looks a little bit weird, so we will need some help in terms of fraction in the simplest form. So how do we go about doing that then? So are we able to get a nice number? Maybe not, but we know our fraction concepts. So we will convert 15 and 1/3 into a improper, which is 46 out of 43 over 100. Okay, so it's actually 46 over 3 divided by 100. Okay, so which is actually the same as 46 over 3 times 1 over 100. Do you remember this concept? So this is actually simply 46 over 300. And from here, you reduce to simplest form, which is 23 out of 150. And this is the simplest form because we know that 23 is a prime number. Okay, look at the steps carefully again. Try to understand what's happening. So again, I just simply converted 15 and 1/3% into the normal form of fraction. Okay, from the percentage into a fraction, what I meant. Okay, then from here, I converted 15 and 1/3 into an improper fraction. So it's 46 over 3 out of 100, which is the same as 46 over 3 divided by 100. So again, revising on our fraction concept, whenever there's a divide here, I can put a times and get the reciprocal of 100, which is 46 over 3 times 1 out of 100. So when you simplify, you actually get 23 out of 150. Moving on. So for 36.4% as a fraction in the simplest form. So how do you go about doing that? It's the same old method again. So 36.4 over 100. So we're going to make this a whole number. So it becomes 364 over 1,000. Okay, by just moving the decimal places. So that's how I get this. Again, I will simplify to the simplest form. Okay, so divide by 2, I get 182 over 500. Again, I divide, I get 91 over 250. I believe that is the simplest form, so that's your answer. Okay, moving on to the next question. 81% as a decimal. So we have learned about the moving of decimal places. So 81% into decimal. So you just need to move the decimal places to. So it's actually 0.81 as a 0.81 as a decimal. Okay. So what about 16.8 as a decimal? So 16.8% as a decimal. So 16.8%. Again, I'll move the decimal places back twice. That's how I get 0.168 as a decimal when it's 16.8%. Quite easy to understand, isn't it? Okay, moving on to the next one again. Oh, it seems like that's the last question. So I have actually gone through quite a fair bit of concept, and do watch this video again if you are not very certain on the conversion, and feel free to drop me a direct message if you are not sure. Okay, thank you for listening and watching this lesson. Okay, please carry on with the activities stated on my end online. Okay, see you soon. Bye.